This is System 3, Week 2, the pentatonic. So for this one, like all of the pentatonics, we are going to be going through all 5 forms of the pentatonic in the key of E minor. All right, so we're going to be playing a progression where we go from the E minor, A minor, so 1, 4, 1, back up to the 4 chord, down to the E minor chord, and then I'm going to do sort of a normal turnaround that you find oftentimes in the blues. So I'm going to the flat 6, to the 5, and then back to the 1, and eventually up to that dominant 7th chord. All right, so a couple things for this. First of all, when you're playing the over top of the E minor chord, you can do anything you want, really. I want you to play through those, pentatonics in general, but you can play your blue notes. You can do all your bends, you can do slides, anything you want like that, totally fine. So that blue note sounds great, incidentally. So feel free to do any of that stuff over the E minor chord. When you get to the A minor, you'll notice that I'm hitting this note. Those are the 2 notes, but you hear that they don't quite resolve. So anytime you hit one of the B's, you can always bend it by a half step. Now check this out. If I'm playing, if I just wandered pentatonic, you wouldn't know where I was at. But if I was doing... you can hear I went to the 4 chord there, and your ear immediately went like, oh, okay, I know where he's at. This is going to help you to like play through the changes, which is a really important thing. All right, so A chord, you don't have to bend that note, but if you want to bend that note, you can bend it. But the rest in the pentatonic, and of course, this is our exercise. So at least once in each of these positions, try to get a piece of it, even if it's fine. As long as you play some part of that exercise in this. When we get to the C chord, then I want you to only do arpeggio notes, and arpeggio notes based on whatever form of the C you're in. Right? And then the same thing for the B, down a half step. You don't have to play the full thing, just whatever piece of it you want. And then lastly, so this is a lot of information. So you can play the blue note, you can, on the A chord, you can bend, on the C chord, arpeggio only, on the B chord, arpeggio only. And lastly, when you get to the E minor, back to normal, and then I want you to, every single time you're in this, when you get to the 5 chord, do that motion. Now, those of you who are sort of bluesers and you've been playing this stuff, that'll come really naturally to you. Those of you who haven't done this much, you're going to have to think, like, where am I in the progression? So give yourself some breathing space and try to get this cliche in every single time you make the change. All right, let me just walk through this. And again, if you know this stuff and you're ready to roll, just jump, move ahead into the play along. But let me talk through this for those of you who want to see a little demo on it. All right, so starting off in this position. There's my bent note on the C. There's my exercise. C arpeggio. B. And then that transition. There's that bent note. There was my exercise. There's the exercise again. Okay, so you get the idea. Every single position, I'm going to be doing those same tricks. So bending for the C sharps, playing the blue notes through them, and then arpeggios for the C chord and the B chord, and that cliche. It's a lot of information, but like, again, this is making your mind, like forcing your mind to work in certain ways. So hopefully it'll be very helpful for you, and I think it should be a lot of fun too. So now it's your turn to try.